We have members of Congress, Maxine Waters, Rashida Tlaib, and others, who are instigating riots and instigating the overthrow of this country. They do it for political reasons, but I also believe they really embrace this Marxist ideology. And for all the talk about January 6th being an insurrection when you had people who were unarmed, when the person killed was actually a protester, a 14-year veteran, and we're still wondering why. I'm wondering why was she shot? She wasn't armed. She wasn't threatening anybody. She was part of the crowd. No, she shouldn't have been there, but why was she shot? We have no information about this. We have no information about the officer. The officer has been cleared in an investigation, no charges, unlike Officer Potter outside of Minneapolis, who was charged within 48 hours. And we have everything on a video, and we know all about it. And we know all about Mr. Riot and his criminal background and so forth. But in this case, we don't know anything. This is America. We're supposed to know everything. Seriously, in a criminal case, criminal cases are not secret. That's why courtrooms are not closed. In any event, Maxine Waters, she went to Minneapolis. She thought it was a good thing to visit the protesters, a.k.a. the rioters, I suppose. Let's take a look at this. Go. Now stop there. Now, why are they turning Riot into an iconic, heroic figure? What happened was a horrible accident, all of which was his responsibility, given his criminal background, given resisting arrest. The officer made a mistake, a terrible mistake, for which he's being really dragged through the hot coals. But that doesn't mean that Riot should be treated as some kind of a popular figure. And look at who is protesting. I have to say, since we're all now looking at race endlessly, a white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy. I'm sure there's blacks and others here too, but it's really quite remarkable. Go ahead. What are they saying? I can't even tell.
All cops are bastards.
Oh, all cops are bastards. See what I mean? And there's a Black Lives Matter sign in the back. This is all orchestrated. Marxist ideological movement, an anarchist movement. It is all orchestrated. Go ahead. Now, hold on. You know the irony of this? As we moved, there was an individual in the crowd who had a sweater or sweatshirt that said Nike. Now, I want you to think about it. Go back slowly. Here we go. Right there. Nike. I'm the only one who catches these things. So in other words, he's protesting all police. All police. Meanwhile, he's wearing a Nike jersey where Nike does business with a police state, Communist China, which has massive concentration camps and is brutalizing minorities, Uyghurs in particular, Muslims in particular. This is what I mean. This whole movement, and you see the Black Lives Matter sign there, is a disgusting farce. It has nothing to do with justice, nothing to do with equality. It is intended to tear down the country, destroy support for law enforcement, disarm you, and then control everything. Go.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
I want you to know that we all need to sustain this movement.
Yes.
We cannot stop.
Right.
Or we cannot hesitate. But we must say every day and every hour that we are going to persist, that this country recognizes what is going on.
Yes.
It is not only unjust and unfair, it is outright racist.
It is.
We are finding and seeing what is going on with our young people, with our young black people, with our unarmed people, with those who are losing their lives because of police who do not care about life. We're looking for a guilty verdict. We're looking for a guilty verdict, and we're looking to see if all of the talk that took place and has been taking place after they saw what happened to George Floyd, if nothing does not happen, then we know that we've got to not only stay in the street, but we've got to fight for justice. But I am very hopeful, and I hope that we're going to get a verdict that will say guilty, guilty, guilty.
It's amazing. You know, she and her husband are multimillionaires. For a while, she lived outside of her district. Her husband was the consul general to Bermuda. I believe it was under Clinton, or perhaps it was under Obama. And she's been in Congress for decades. She's a race baiter. She's a hater. And look what she's saying there. She's standing there and saying, if the jury doesn't come back and find ex-officer Chauvin guilty of all counts of murder, and there's many legal analysts, including liberal and minority legal analysts, who've said that they're concerned the prosecutor is overcharged. We'll see. Then they need to persist. Persist at what? She's talking to violent protesters there, rioters. And so there's grave concern about what she just did. And what amazes me on the left and in the Democrat Party, they're inciting insurrection all the time. Those are words that they've used against Donald Trump and his supporters, which are flat out blasphemous, absolute lies. You can't have an insurrection when you're unarmed and you're charging a building. But we have armed protesters throughout this country on the left, the Marxist anarchist left, that are brutalizing people, burning down stores, and now they're threatening a jury. You don't come back the way we want you to come back, then we're going to commit an enormous amount of damage and mayhem. This is the mob. This is the mob that every society fears and that is tolerated in this country by the Democrat Party. She's a Democrat. She's participating in it. Kamala Harris says nothing. Joe Biden has said nothing for weeks, and I don't think they intend to.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.